Since its 2014 release, Five Nights at Freddy's took the gaming world by storm with its terrifying animatronic characters and claustrophobic gameplay. But what many people don't know is that the game's roots lie in a real-life horror story. Today, we'll explore the spine-chilling true story behind the creepy animatronic characters. Brace yourself to uncover the unspeakable horrors lurking behind the pizzeria's walls and discover the gruesome truth. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and turn on the notifications for more bone-chilling content. Let's begin. Five Nights at Freddy's. Five Nights at Freddy's, a story about animatronic robots in a pizza joint that frequently harms children, might not seem like it would make for a movie worth watching. However, the highly anticipated theatrical release of this movie has finally happened on October 27. The movie is a collaboration between Universal and Blumhouse. It is a faithful adaptation of Five Nights at Freddy's, a game that gained instant popularity upon its release in 2014. Despite being an indie game, it penetrated mainstream culture and gained a massive fanbase over time. The game is known for its classic nostalgic horror elements, such as scary abandoned buildings with a labyrinth of corridors, creepy children's toys that seem friendly during the day but turn malevolent at night, and plenty of jump scares. Freddy, the giant animatronic teddy bear, along with his animal friends, is the main antagonist who wants to kill you, and you never know when he might be lurking around the corner. If it sounds like Five Nights at Freddy's is a simple homage to classic horror movies, you're not entirely wrong. Nevertheless, this franchise is not just another horror game. It has had a significant impact on gaming fandom and YouTube culture, representing the current trend of games that keep their audience guessing not only about what's going to happen next, but also about what it all means. However, as with most horror movies, Five Nights at Freddy's has a dark and unsettling history behind it. With the movie adaptation bringing sinister animatronics like Freddy Fazbear to life, we couldn't help but wonder about the inspiration behind the game. Could it be that Five Nights at Freddy's is based on actual events? Brace yourself for the chilling truth, because the answer is far more complicated and horrifying than you could have ever anticipated. You may already know that the story of Five Nights at Freddy's was brought to life by a skilled game developer, Scott Cawthon, who has a fondness for the horror genre. In an interview with Indie Game Magazine, Cawthon was asked about the inspiration behind the FNAF game series. He said, "I had made a family-friendly game about a beaver before this, but when I tried to put it online, it got torn apart by a few prominent reviewers. People said that the main character looked like a scary animatronic animal. I was heartbroken and was ready to give up on game making. Then, one night, something just snapped at me, and I thought to myself, I bet I can make something a lot scarier than that." Although Cawthon has explained the inspiration behind it, urban legend enthusiasts can't help but speculate on the true crime that had influenced it. Connection to Chuck E. Cheese. As we all know, the animatronics of FNAF were initially created to provide entertainment at Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. The likes of Bonnie, Foxy, and Chica could be found entertaining the children as part of an on-stage spring-locked band with Freddy Fazbear leading the vocals. However, the concept of having an animatronic band of friendly animals in a themed children's pizza place is not a new concept. Chuck E. Cheese, the notorious family pizza chain, has had its creepy animatronic band very similar to Five Nights at Freddy's since 1977. The band consists of Chuck on lead vocals, Jasper T. Joels playing the guitar, and Pascali P. Pipeplate on the drums, sporting a creepy mustache. Originally known as the Pizza Makers, the robotic trio soon became a five-piece band with the addition of chicken cheerleader Helen Henny and purple monster Mr. Munch. In the past, the band was known as Munch's Make-Believe Band. They used to entertain people every hour and a half with the help of animatronics. However, in 2017, the group and animatronics were phased out and replaced by a dance floor and a new brand. It is believed that the unsettling appearance of these animatronics contributed to the decision to remove them. The eerie atmosphere created by these lifeless creatures left many customers feeling uneasy and disturbed. So, It's quite apparent that Munch's make-believe band could have served as the inspiration for game designer Scott Cawthon's initial Five Nights at Freddy's game. However, the similarities don't just end there. Fortunately, Chuck E. Cheese never experienced a Bite of 87 incident, as their animatronics didn't contain spring locks. Nevertheless, some unsettling occurrences have caused the FNAF fanbase to draw comparisons between incidences that happened in Chuck E. Cheese and then were portrayed in FNAF. The 1993 event. In a grisly video presented by game theorists, eerie similarities are pointed out between the backstory of the game and a real-life tragedy that took place at a Chuck E. Cheese's location in Aurora, Colorado in 1993. The connections are too close for comfort, leaving one to wonder if there's something genuinely sinister lurking beneath the surface of the fun and games. A former employee who had started working at Chuck E. Cheese in May of 1993 was fired. He was frustrated and planned to get even about the termination. That is why on December 14, 1993, the disgruntled former employee returned to the Chuck E. Cheese restaurant and shot 5 people, 4 of whom died as a result of their injuries. The former employee who had committed this crime had already been arrested 5 times prior to working at Chuck E. Cheese. Despite the fact that the victims were adults, several video essays and hypotheses point out that the number of individuals killed in this real-life catastrophe is the same as the number of missing children with animatronics in the first FNAF game. The 2012 event. After the 1993 event, another horrible incident took place at a Chuck E. Cheese restaurant. In 2012, the parents of a 3-year-old daughter were shocked to learn that she had gone missing after hearing about it on the local news. The kid had returned to a Chuck E. Cheese after finding a token, and she was stranded at the restaurant until 11 p.m. without her parents even knowing she was gone. However, she was safely brought back to her family. While she was waiting for her parents to arrive, she sat with the animatronics, police, and restaurant workers in the after hours. People couldn't help but notice how Afton, who is the main antagonist of the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise, has a tendency to entice children away from their parents with charming animatronics. Despite these apparent similarities, Cawthon has never verified whether his games were inspired by these 2 incidents related to Chuck E. Cheese. But it's understandable why fans would draw such connections, and you only have to look at Five Nights at Freddy's to see that the Chuck E. Cheese animatronics as a whole were an apparent influence. Not only that, but there have been countless other pieces of evidence that the horror game FNAF has been inspired by the one and only Chuck E. Cheese. A fan of the horror franchise took to Twitter and published screenshots of news headlines that narratively matched the original Five Nights at Freddy's tale. The news reports that 5 children have gone missing at the exact Chuck E. Cheese location, that strange odors were detected coming from the animatronics, that an after-hours employee died at a young age, and that those working at night witnessed strange movements from the primary mechanical mouse and his friends on stage. Descriptions of the worker's death were referenced in the headline. Because of Chuck E. Cheese's bankruptcy filing, readers were led to assume that these tales were recent and that people were only now learning about them. However, none of these stories are true, as they were never published on the news websites depicted in the photographs. While these phony news stories appear to be genuine, they are, in fact, created, most likely by a devoted FNAF enthusiast. As we wrap up our exploration of the real story behind Five Nights at Freddy's, it's clear that there is much more to this game than meets the eye. From the tragic backstory of the animatronics to the mystery of the missing children, there are layers of darkness and intrigue that have captured the imaginations of players around the world. Whether you're a longtime fan or a newcomer to the game, we hope that this video has shed some light on the secrets of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and the terrifying events that transpired there. Who knows what other secrets and surprises await us in the world of Five Nights at Freddy's? Only time will tell. That's all we have for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the following video.